Brian started this ultra cool laundromat, Laundry Genius, when he got laid off from Microsoft.
Well, it's crazy. 95% of the laundromats are successful. What I wanted to do was get cash flow positive. If you open a laundromat and you're considering pickup and delivery, go slow. They can spin up to 450 Gs. So I save money on water. It's a credit card. If you choose a value, you put your credit card in there. It's going to spit out a little card. We're card only on the machines.
So no coins at all?
No coins at all. Like once you invest in the machines, as long as they're turning, you're making money.
In this episode, you're going to learn what it takes to start a laundromat and the key factors that Brian contributes to his amazing success, which you can actually use in any business. Wow, check this out. I found some cash. Find out how to make all this. All right, Brian, I'm excited to share your story, share with our viewers how you run your business here. So why don't we start off with when and why you got into the laundromat industry?
Yeah, when and why? Actually, right before COVID, I got laid off from my job in corporate America and did some soul searching and decided ultimately I wanted to be an entrepreneur, take things into my own hands.
Awesome, so that created an opportunity. But why the little laundromat business? Like, who gave you the idea? Was it your research?
Yeah, it was random. I'd heard about it on a podcast a long time before. They're great businesses, right? And that just popped into my head. And I was working with a business coach and we explored some opportunities. And you really understand that they can be really, really good businesses. So I looked around and saw a gap in the area for a modern laundromat and figured that I might as well give a shot at it.
How many machines do you have here total? This is a big place.
Yeah, 4,000 square foot store, 38 washers, 4 different sizes, and 32 dryers.
Because we did interviews, check out those as well, that was smaller than this. So I'm really excited to go through and understand how you operate this. Let's talk about the startup cost, Brian. Yeah. Like, what did it cost to get this thing going, and how did you finance it?
Yeah, it was a little over $1 million. Fortunately, the folks that sell the machines are happy to finance the machines and sometimes part of the construction costs. So about 75% of it, I did that way. The other 25% was I self-funded by using the Rollover for Business Startups program that brought money from my IRA into a special purpose 401k that funded the business.
Okay, where can people find more about that? I know there's probably more steps to understanding it.
You can search for Rollover for Business Startups on Google or go to a company called Guidant Financial. That's the company I use. That they're specialists in setting these things up for people. They guide you through the whole process and make it super easy.
Well, let's go outside because I want to talk about the factors that you looked at when choosing this particular location.
Yeah.
So tell us what's important to highlight about that, Brian.
Yeah, so what I wanted this business to do was be a self-sufficient as a self-service laundromat, right? We can do full service and all that stuff, but for a self-service laundromat, what you're looking for is a high propensity of renters in the area. Like that is the number one thing. Then when it comes down to looking for your laundromat location, and why I love this location so much is I'm fortunate to have a standalone building, right? I was able to brand that entirely my own, do it my way, right? I have tons of parking right up front on that stuff. And I'm right here on a major arterial that people are passing by all the time. I had people during construction, once we put the sign up, coming in to say, when are you gonna open, when are you gonna open, before we did a lick of marketing or anything else.
So how does that come about though? I mean, did you sit on Google and did your own research, or how does one get that information to make the right location decision?
So your commercial real estate broker has all the information that you'll need for all that stuff. Yeah, so they look at traffic counts, demographics. I have 7 pages of demographic information on this location that helped us choose that it was the right one.
So do you lease the building or did you purchase it?
I do lease the building. Tried to purchase it, but they weren't interested in it, and so we leased it. Nice 15-year lease with 2 5-year options. Yeah, with the amount of money you put in these places, right, you need to have a long lease. Like 10 years with options is the minimum. You can't up and move a bunch of laundry machines very simply to another location. So long lease was critical.
Let's talk about how many of these machines you have.
Yep.
And for someone starting a laundromat, what's important about picking the right machine, size, anything about that?
Yeah, so I have 38 washers in 4 different sizes. Biggest one holds 8 loads.
8 loads?
Yeah, and all my dryers hold 5 loads. There's 32 of those there. Like, I built from the ground up, so I had no other choice from going new. Like, the things that were important to me were the distributor, honestly. They're gonna be, not your business partner, but you're gonna talk to no one else more than them, because when your machines need to be serviced under warranty, those are the folks you're calling.
So service for the machines, it's not in-house. They do the servicing as well.
Yeah, if it breaks down right now, everything's under warranty to do the services. I'm not mechanically inclined, so I'd probably continue that. There's stuff that we do in general, like deep cleaning and stuff.
Gotcha.
On machines, like I can take the front off of one of these and fix a drain, but I still rely on them for the vast majority of stuff. But in terms of choosing machines, I think utilities, like how much water are they using? Like one of your biggest costs is going to be utilities. So the more energy efficient your machines can be on new machines, the better off you're going to be on your overall cost structure, right? And then there's other stuff. There's varying degrees of technology. These machines are all called soft mount machines. They're on shock absorbers. The benefit of those, they can spin up to 450 Gs. So when you pull something out of here, it's actually pretty dry. So I save money on water. My customers save money on the dryers, because where you might have spent 35, 40 minutes drying before, our average dry time is 25 minutes on this stuff, because they don't need to spend so much time in the dryer.
Do you find out all these details in the process of sitting down with the distributor and planning, designing?
Yeah.
Is that one of these things are talked about? And sort of, hey, we can go with, the shock or whatever you mentioned, right? Because it'll save on the dryer. Or does that just experience? That's the question I have.
So the distributors are going to tell you this stuff, but I validated it. There's a couple of laundromat owner groups on Facebook where, I sat there, I learned a ton, but you also ask questions and you test what the manufacturers are telling you versus what these owners' experiences have been on those machines.
That's
so that
pretty
was
cool.
Great,
I mean, like you said, just that feature alone causes a saving for your customers somewhere else.
Yeah, it's good for me and good for my customers. It's just awesome.
Okay. I want to take a peek in here.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of your drop-off
area,
this is
our attendance room. This is where we fold all the laundry. We take all the drop-off orders. This is where we run the shop from. Yeah.
Okay. You don't need a lot of space to do that, right?
No, I mean, I wish I had more. If I was to change one thing, I would have allocated more space for this so we could get our drop-off business grow even more and not be so cramped.
How many people usually are operating here? Is it usually just one or two?
Yeah, it's typically one on a weekday, two on a busy day on Sundays. But usually it's maybe one person here and the other one is out there cleaning machines, because that's a core part of our value.
So what makes you stand apart? As I said, I remember we did an interview in Los Angeles and Ferndale. Everyone offers a different level of service or experience. What sets up Laundry Genius apart from your competitors?
It's customer experience. It's a modern customer experience. I mean, to this day, people still walk in here and say, wow, right? They haven't been in a laundromat in years. It's just different, right? We don't do quarters. We're card only on the machines.
So no coins at all?
No coins at all. Like, we'll trade your coin. We get a lot of coins in that we trade because people come in.
So you take
a sack. Oh yeah, you got to give them bills. We're not going to turn you away because you brought quarters.
Right.
But we'll trade the quarters in, give you a bill so you can go. But the vast majority of our customers pay with credit card, which is another one. But then when you just look around the store, like, we are constantly cleaning. Like, the soap dishes, everything are always immaculate. And the other things that people appreciate is just the amount of room that they have to operate. Like, our aisles are 10 and 11 feet wide, so you're never going to bump into each other. You can drive your cart and go by.
That's a good point.
And it's just light, bright, safe. The entire front of the store is glass. People can see in at night. They feel safe when they're here. So it's just like all that stuff in the customer experience, plus just super friendly people. Our attendants are always here to help, and that also helps maintain a safe environment in the store.
That's awesome. I want to share with our audience about the services you offer. What are the most profitable, and really how you worked on the menu. I would say menus right there on the wall. So, because there's quite a bit that you offer. So walk us through the services here, kind of what are the most profitable, if you could share.
No, we're a full service laundry center, right? So that means you can come in and do your own laundry or have us do it for you. The self-service business, I would say, probably is more profitable. You have the customers are doing the labor, and once you invest in the machines, as long as they're turning, you're making money, right? Then the full service side, we do drop off, right? People bring their clothes in here and do them there, and we also have a pickup and delivery business that we're trying to grow. Try to price it appropriately. I think the margins are different on the self-service side, and because we're still growing, they're probably not where I'm at. But I'm comfortable with what we're doing, and if we can get some volume, then it'll feel a lot more comfortable doing the full service stuff, because it's a totally different practice, right? Especially in pickup and delivery. That's a logistics business of getting the stuff to and from the store, right? Which is a lot different than just handling everything right here.
Yeah. Okay. What's the best way to scale and grow a laundromat? Obviously, you're limited by the size of the building, right?
Yep.
Besides that fact, how else do you grow and scale it?
I would say number one is figure out what your value proposition is and religiously deliver on it so people will tell their friends. But there's this whole opportunity because we are open from 8 to 9 on the weekends, 9 to 9 on the weekdays. From 9 to the following morning, these machines aren't running, right? So as I think about how I could really scale is what are the things I can do if I can get that pickup and delivery business going and do all the processing at night, that's all these machines are running during more days, and my payment on the machines is the same regardless.
Aren't there like 24/7 laundromats too? Like you can walk in at 3 a.m. and do your own wash?
There are people that do that.
I don't see how much more business you'd get between midnight. I mean,
well, it depends. If you're in a larger city, I mean, there's guys that will tell you the stories that customers that come in. Also, you're typically the only one that's open, so you draw from a wider area.
Right.
I don't want to have people in the store. I don't want to get those calls in the middle of the night. So it's a route I chose was to have kind of the more traditional business operating hours.
How did you build brand awareness for Laundry Genius in the first opening days?
I mean, I was fortunate with my location being right here on the major arterial. Like, we branded the entire store, and people were driving by, and they came in and had a good experience, and they shared it online and told their friends.
Okay.
We were just super fortunate. We chose to go with a soft opening for a couple months where we weren't trying to drive demand. But it came in, it happened, people came in and had a good experience. You know, we did start marketing a little bit later on, but, you know, like the awareness stuff really has been our customers telling our story that this is a great place to come do laundry.
All right. How many employees do you have, and how much do you pay, and what's the structure look like typically?
Yeah, we have 6 employees, so 1 manager and 5 attendants. We try to start at 10 to 15% above minimum wage, just as your base rate. We also have a monthly incentive program where we take the tips from wash and fold orders, and we also have incentives for 5-star reviews and things like that. So, you know, we had probably people last month that were making close to $20 an hour with the incentive program on top of that. Yeah.
Do you ask for reviews on that note, or, or people?
No, I mean, you'll see, if you walk around, you'll see that we have QR codes and things like that.
Got it.
But, you know, we've never proactively gone out and asked. We have a good volume. Most of the time, people that want to share, they share. And, you know, that's fine.
So why start your own brand, right? Because you can go and buy something that's already in operation, existing, but you started Laundry Genius. There's no other locations but here.
Not yet.
Why is that?
I think when you have a brand that you can deliver on the values on, it develops trust in our customers. But from day one, I think it enabled us to punch above our weight, right? When people came in here, and they still do, they're like, where are the other locations? Are you part of a national brand or something? It's like, no. This is the first one, it's there. But when they see this stuff and we deliver on the experiences that we promise as part of our brand promise, like, I can't imagine any other way going without making up a brand that I could deliver on.
Interesting. So with what you know now in your current experience, right? How long has it been now since this is in operation?
14 months.
14 months. So with what you know now, Brian, would you do anything different for your other location? Or, you know, for our viewers watching, what are the pros of starting your own brand versus buying something existing? What can you share with experience?
The pros of the brand is literally, it is what you want your expression to be. It's not somebody else's expression. You get to decide on everything in the store and how you want to deliver on it. The cons, it's just a little more work, but honestly, with resources out there like Fiverr and 99 Designs and things like that, you can go crowdsource a ton of great ideas from people that are expert in that area for a fairly affordable way. So it was a great way for me to take what was in my head, but I didn't have the design skills to do that, and have a community and get all the best stuff back and bring it to my store.
Awesome. All right, well, let's check out the other side of the building, because again, you mentioned this high traffic street really helps the business.
Very much so.
What are your thoughts on this? Extra large washers, cleaning, so this is pretty straightforward and simple.
Yeah, I mean, we got all these people driving by, sitting in the intersections, like, really want to figure out what are a few things that are different than other laundromats that we could highlight. So put them up here.
That's awesome. What is your biggest challenge right now as a business owner with the environment, the economy? What are you struggling with, and how are you overcoming those things?
I think the biggest challenge is always people. You know, right now, it's making sure we have enough. And sometimes when you have enough, it's making sure that you're delivering that consistent experience no matter what time of day someone comes in the store. We're always recruiting. We try to document all our processes and expectations, so at least we have something to go back to.
So you have a process that
they adhere to? Yeah, like it's the only way to get any sort of scale, to create life for me so I don't have to be here.
Right.
And it also gives my manager a foundation to operate off of where the expectations are always clearly set. Everybody gets trained the same way, or at least we learn something and train them a little better the next time.
Yeah.
But, you know, without those clear expectations, I think it would be a lot more difficult to deliver the customer experience.
And they all dress the same, right? I've noticed.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, we have t-shirts, right?
You have t-shirts.
It's kind of like,
is it mandatory you have to wear it?
Yeah.
As branding?
Yeah. I mean, what we have to do is we have to be easy to spot within the store. Right, so we have right now they're light blue t-shirts. We change colors every now and then, but it's really is the t-shirt. Other than that, we want them to be comfortable and they're on their feet all the time. So as long as they're wearing the t-shirt, customers can spot them, we're good.
Anything you want to highlight on this menu so that our audience can kind of rip off and duplicate a little bit about what they're doing?
Yeah, I would say over here is everything on the self-serve side, and really what it says is what are the prices per machine for hot, cold, whatever type of stuff. My advice here is don't be afraid to be more expensive than your competitors, right? That allows us to deliver this experience, right? Of having people in the store all the time, keeping it clean, of having new machines that are well maintained. So, there's a laundromat on a mile on each side of me. I'm definitely more expensive than them, and I'm not going to compete with them on price.
Yeah.
On the full service side, it's core. It's funny. We started off just doing drop off, full service, wash, dry, fold, and I had a customer come in with a stack of laundry after a baseball tournament they'd done. They just didn't want to fold it. So we have people that come in and they just have us fold the laundry they've done. We have others that I call it the college student special, right? They just take a bag, we do the laundry, we throw it in a bag, and they take it home. Right? They don't
do their
care
own
about
folding.
Yeah, but most of the people come in for the full service, wash, dry, and fold. And then there's a good mix of folks that bring in the special items. Like, you can see kind of after the winter, we do a lot of blankets and comforters for people. So those special items are another place that people bring out because we have the big machines and they don't want to spend time here, so they give it to us to do it for them.
And we'll share about the tech that you use here because it's all pretty sophisticated, unlike laundromats, 30, even 10 years ago.
10, 5, it was funny. There's the vast majority of laundromats out there are still coin.
Coin?
Yeah, some are hybrid.
Wow.
And there's reasons why I chose to go card only.
On the marketing note, let's talk about that. What's your typical budget per month? How do you spend it on what platforms and so on?
Yeah, it ranges like from kind of $500 up to about $2,000 a month.
Why such big spread sometimes?
There's the core, like just have an agency managing our social account, doing some ads and things like that. Most of the time pushing the full service stuff. But I came across a company that does geo-fenced marketing. I can serve ads up to people while they're in other laundromats in the area. And that's just a little more expensive, and we're experimenting with that. So that's what's driven the higher costs recently.
So you're still kind of, like you said, experimenting what brings in more, what doesn't do so well. 14 months in, right? You're still learning?
It's like, exactly. The geolocation is the first time I've really spent on trying to drive self-serve stuff, like looking with that outcome in mind.
How's it doing so far?
It's interesting that there's new customers coming in. We can prove that. The thing that I hope that my card system will do a little bit better job with a new feature is I can give those people a code when they get that ad so they can plug it in the machine so I can do attribution all the way down the line. But when you look at the patterns, like there's definitely new people coming to the store. I just don't know who they are right now and like how much they're spending if they're coming back and those things. But software upgrades coming to my card system in a month or so, and that should enable that, and that'll be even better.
Let's talk about the relationship with the distributor. Like, what is their role, and what can you highlight to our viewers on the importance of finding the right partner, distributor / and so on?
Yeah, outside of your location, probably nothing more important, especially if you're going to build new. In a lot of industries, distributors are just people that sell you the thing. So you would think that the distributor is just going to sell me the machines. Totally different in this world.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, no, the guy that from Sesco Equipment, Rich Boyd, awesome guy. He has built hundreds of laundromats. So he helped me design the store. They manage the entire construction process and everything all the way up to the opening. And then they're my ongoing support for servicing the machines and the warranties and things like that. But you got to have a great distributor partner.
Sounds like the process of building this out was pretty hands-off for you.
Yeah, other than inputting on design stuff and things like that, like I spent a lot of time during construction, waiting for permits and twiddling my thumbs, right? So that I was like, I'm a business guy, so I tried to find business stuff to focus on during that time period.
Why don't you show us where the hot water tanks are, or kind of the equipment room?
The hot water tanks, fairly small.
Check that out. How many do you have for 30 plus machines?
We have 2 hot water heaters. Right now,
2 for all this.
They're really, really big, but they're running on a recirculation pump, so the hot water is constantly getting cycled through during the day. So you're not, when you come in, you're not getting a bunch of cold water in the machine before the hot. But 2 hot water vac machines kicking out all day long.
Buying used, does that make sense?
Oh, for a lot of people, it does. And, it kind of, one of it depends on what you want to offer in your store. These machines last forever if they're properly maintained. So, there's probably, if you look at me, probably 10 years down the road, I'll look at refreshing my machines just to get newer technology in here. But those machines are going to have like another 5, 10, 15 years of life. You would be blown away with what some laundromat owners are still running on their machines because they're designed well and they're workhorses. But there's a thriving market of people who will buy those 7, 10-year-old machines and they'll bring them new to their store. You'll see owners posting on those Facebook groups online that they're selling machines, and there's a couple of companies, they're back east mostly, that specialize in selling used machines.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you started this location, what was your plan on recouping your initial investment? Can you share a little bit about that? Do you get your money back in a year, 3 years, or how do you look at that as a business owner?
Overall investment, I never really thought about a lot about that. What I wanted to do was get cash flow positive, right? And if I knew I was cash flow positive, then I would be on the right path and delivering the return I needed to live my life.
What kind of profit margins are you shooting for, and what's the industry standard?
Yeah, the industry standard varies because you get a lot of different formats from unattended, small, large, attended, full serve, all sorts of things. Like my goal in my head is a 20% margin, and I'm not there yet in year one, but I think we're going to get there.
Okay, 20%, that's not bad.
Yeah.
All right, Blitz Time with Brian. Let's go through these questions really quick. If you could go back in time and tell your younger self, don't do this, what would it be?
Don't stay in one place forever. I'm a local boy. I wish when I was in corporate America, I would have taken the opportunity to go live in another city because you can always come back.
That's awesome. Okay, if something happens to you, what will happen to your business?
Hopefully it'll keep running really well. I have an awesome manager that knows how to run the place. And then I have a lot of stuff documented for my wife, and she can decide if she wants to keep it or sell it.
Okay, can you tell us about the most bizarre business encounter, if anything?
Laundromats are an interesting place. For a lot of stuff, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So, we've had people relieve themselves right outside the store, and you had to clean it up.
Okay. Last question. If aliens take over the world tomorrow, how are you going to convince them to keep your business open and running?
If they're worried about making money as aliens, I'm going to show them my numbers.
That's good. What's important about the opening day that one should know? Whether it's the right marketing, do you send out flyers 2 days before the doors open? Let's talk about that.
Probably, I'd say 3 things. Number 1 is your people, right? Get your hiring in order and have your people ready, at least for an attended laundromat.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do. Number 2, think about how you want to have your operations done. What do you want your people to do when they're working in the store? What experience do you want to deliver? And really outline those things so they know the expectations, and we can, no matter when you come in here, you're going to get the same experience regardless of who's working. Like, when can we get in, right? And doing that stuff.
Cool.
But then, I focus on getting my website up in order.
Okay.
Get your Google business profile up in order. Like, that's a better investment of time than your website, just how people are finding you. And then figuring out what kind of marketing that I wanted to do.
Did you do some kind of blast out a day or two before, or?
I didn't.
It's just natural?
It was just my first laundromat, right? I mean, so I didn't know what to expect. I had to get my people trained up and all that stuff, and we were still sorting stuff out. So we knew that for at least a couple months, we would just let things grow organically. In a restaurant, they call it a soft open.
Yeah.
We've just been fortunate with the reception. People see good reviews online, so they come in. And the marketing we do spend, the majority of it is focused on how do we drive demand for our drop-off and our pickup and delivery services.
Wow, that's pretty cool. You guys keep watching, because Brian's going to share more insights on how he continues to market his business 14 months in. A lot of supplies, obviously, you go through, right?
Yeah.
Any tips, tricks, advice on where to get best supplies, best pricing? Like, what does it look like for you?
Amazingly enough, the best prices we've got now, we buy most of our supplies at either Costco
Oh, you said
or
Costco.
Amazon. Yeah, I mean, I tried.
Sense.
We had a specialized distributor at the start, and once we were looking at prices, it was just like, those where I can get the best prices, and they have great stuff.
So what you're basically saying, a lot of the supplies, you don't need to have a supply partner.
No.
You can just literally go to Walmart, Costco, and it works.
Yeah, I mean, for the general detergents and things like that, I mean, those are the places to go. It's just crazy. But the purchasing power that they have, they get such great prices. You would see it's not uncommon for laundromat owners to buy the products they use in the store. Vending stuff, a little harder to find. So like my single serve stuff and things like that. So I buy most of that from a company called Cleaner Supply online. It's great. They deliver within 3 days, so it's all perfect.
Okay, awesome. Tell us more about the drop-off and delivery. Like, when it comes to that experience, I've never used that service myself, so a lot of logistics going on, but how do you maintain the client's happiness in that service?
Yeah, don't lose our clothes. Like, that's the number one thing.
It happens?
We do our best. I don't think we've lost anything that we couldn't find. I think one time we had a piece get between orders when people weren't adhering to our processes, but people want their stuff back. They trust you with things of a lot of value to them.
Yes, they do.
Right? But then just consistency. Like, they expect you to be expert, right? So they expect their stuff to come back, smelling great, folded properly, and all of those things. So if you deliver on that consistent experience where it's as good or better than they would get at home, you should be fine.
Yeah, because I noticed this trend. You're always coming back to customer experience, right?
Yep.
That's great. I can't think of anything else more important than that.
Yeah, it's not what people expect from laundromats, and it's happening in other parts of the country. Just wasn't happening here. So we decided to give it a shot, and the community around here, we've been very well received. I'm super fortunate.
You're disrupting the market in a very positive way.
Yes.
That's awesome. How does a laundromat owner make their business stand out, specifically on Yelp and Google? Any tips, hacks, tricks there that you can share?
Spend your time on getting the right information there, your hours, answer questions and things like that. Upload your own photos. And then, you really rely on your customers, but make sure that you're present on there, on those reviews. When you get a negative review, respond. We don't contest it. Basically, we say you clearly didn't get the experience that was expected. Please follow up with us so we can make it right.
Is it important for a laundromat business to have a website in 2022? And if so, what kind of information is the most valuable to the customer on the website?
Yeah, I think so, because when you look at the data we get back from the search engines and stuff like that, is the number one action people take if it's not going to a map is they go to your website once they click on those things. So the key things that customers are looking for, they're looking for where are you at, when are you open, what are your pricing? Like those are the core things. And then we try to also show off our experience with pictures of stores and things like that so people can see that we're not your typical laundromat that they're used to going to and why they should choose us versus others that are just a mile away on either side.
So if I don't have $1 million or a good amount in my 401k, but I want to get into this business, what advice do you have for me? Where can I get started?
Well, so the $1 million, like you said, this is a bigger store than the ones you've been at, right? There's laundromats of all shapes and sizes with all different kind of recipes on how people want to do it. One of the easier ways, you might go about it is find an existing laundromat that may have been run down and the owners are ready to retire.
Fully managed or something.
Yeah, and you can usually buy that. And sometimes you just need to rehab the place, look at the machines, what you need to do. And then, once you get a little bit under your feet, trust me, these machine manufacturers, they will finance new machines if they think you can run your business well. So that might be the way I might go into it that way, is look for a smaller format, one that I could buy and rehab.
So as a new customer, I show up first time, walk me through the process, and also mention all the systems that you have in place here.
So if you're a self-serve customer, you're going to come over here. This is a LaundroWorks card system. It's a stored value card system. You can use credit card or bills to load money on your laundry card that operates all the machines, the washers, the dryers, and it even is what you need to get into the bathroom. It's a credit card. If you choose a value, you put your credit card in there. It's going to spit out a little card.
Oh,
it's yours
gotcha.
to keep.
Okay.
A lot of people will register their card. That way, if they lose it, we can move the value over to another card.
You can pay with a smartphone too?
We just recently added that. And
That is pretty
some
cool.
customers love that. Some of them do. The more technology advanced, they don't have to worry about remembering their card. And another thing we found out they like is our dryers, we price our dryers at 5 minutes at a time to give people lots of flexibility. But that means for 25 minutes, you're swiping it 5 times. The phone users found out that you can do 15 minutes at a shot. So I had a couple people that switched their phone just so they can turn the dryers on faster.
So they can sit for 15 minutes rather than get up every 5.
You can load it all at the front. It's just like standing there and waiting, and they're like, and then they're off. It saves them probably like 35 seconds, but it's 35 seconds they'd rather not stand there.
That's pretty cool. Is this part of the setup with the distributor, the computers and everything?
Yeah, everything.
So all that's tied to the...
Yeah, they set up all the readers and things in the machine, do all the programming and all that stuff, all done by the distributor at the install.
So 14 months in as a laundromat business owner, what does your typical day look like right now? How many hours do you spend and what do you do exactly?
Yeah, it's funny. I spend less and less time here in the laundromat. Like a lot of time is spent like, how do I grow the business, driving around, scouting for new locations and things like that. I am super fortunate that I have a great manager and a great team, but inevitably stuff comes up, so I come in here, probably 2 or 3 times a week, help out with processing orders, maintenance. Really, I just ask my manager and team, like, how can I help? Because they know what they need to do, and I just want to remove roadblocks and help them get their stuff done and have a good employee experience as well.
That's awesome. Any tips on finding employees like that are awesome and stay with you for a while?
It seems like the ones that have stayed are the ones that were customers in the store. So they know what the experience that we offer, and they've watched our people enough that they know that it's not just standing behind the counter and trading money and things like that. My people are on the floor most of the time, cleaning machines. We have the cleanest soap dishes of anybody around here.
You do, man. I could almost see my face in the floor. I mean, I'm not joking. Guys, make sure you check out the UpFlip blog for more real-world advice from other business owners. You will greatly benefit. Where do you see yourself 5-10 years from here? How did you come to that? Thinking and so on.
5 years, if we are not at at least 3 stores, maybe 5 by then. Like that's my target.
Ambitious.
Yeah, no, I mean that's I mean I by nature want to grow it, and that's where I think I can grow it too for this phase. And honestly, I haven't really thought a ton past that, because right now it's just like getting store number 2 is open. It's hard to find real estate of the size and has all these attributes. So you know, that's the long term, but I'm much more focused on how do I grow this place, and then how do I find location number 2 to bring the customer experience to a different part of this area.
That's pretty cool. Well, I didn't ask you earlier, but I'm curious, as a real estate agent myself here in Everett, what is the lease payment for a building like this in this location?
Oh, wow. I'm probably,
Roughly.
I think I'm probably paying like $8,000 a month with the triple net
Gotcha.
on that. So I think so, maybe 9, somewhere in there, but definitely, you know.
That's a big expense as
yeah,
a business,
but you're looking for like Class C type of space. Like this was a Payless shoe store that was vacant. Like we gutted it and things like that. And it's, you know, that's the challenge, at least in this area, for something this size. I'm competing with marijuana shops most of the time, but there's just not, there's just not stuff popping up that isn't newer, because my business model really is, I want to pay lower rent. Right. I want to manage that cost as much as I can.
You're looking for other locations, right? 14 months into the business.
Yep.
How do you know it's the right time, Brian, and that you're not doing it too quickly? And what else you can share on that?
I feel comfortable in how we operate, and that I understand as much as I can understand. That's part of it. Customers continually ask, like we have people drive here from farther distance than I would expect, and you know, my aspirations are there. So I guess I would say I finally felt operationally comfortable that we could do that.
It's kind of your comfort level, guys, basically.
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
no guidebook by which says 14 months, go get another location.
No. I'd say the only thing I would tell people is if you open a laundromat and you're considering pickup and delivery, go slow. I'm super slow on that because it is a logistics business. It's totally different, and it requires, you know, some investment to really turn around. We're just fortunate that we use things like DoorDash and other partners to run the trucks for us when we need them.
So right now you're hiring them, but at some point you're going to do that in-house, won't you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just
like a branded Laundry Genius van all over town.
Yep. Yeah.
More than one, right?
Oh, definitely more than one, right?
Hundreds.
Yeah. No, 100. We'll see. However many it takes to service the area.
Coming back to machines, show us the POS and kind of what it costs you on the monthly basis for the drop-off, pickup service.
Yeah, so I use a point-of-sale system from a company called Sense. They're really incredible.
I've never heard of them before.
Yeah, they've been in the laundromat industry for 18 months. They're really taking it by storm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's been great for us. Cost me a couple $100 a month for the software. We use this to manage all the whole entire process for a drop-off order. So it takes the weight from the scale, track the stages, machine use, all that stuff. When you click on the end, it notifies the customer via text message.
Everything through this.
Yeah, and one of the cool things of the way Sense works is they actually have an integration with DoorDash. So if you drop your stuff off here and you don't have the time to pick it up, right? Then when you get the text message notification that your laundry is done, there's a link in there that you could schedule a delivery from DoorDash to come and take it in there for you.
That's pretty cool. On a side note, you guys, everyone I interview, I look at them, but you're so tall.
I know.
I'm going to have
I have that effect on people.
How tall are you?
6'7" or so.
6'7".
Yeah, I used to be a lot taller, but I'm old now.
You could play basketball, NFL.
I played small college basketball.
NBA, NFL, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, small college basketball a long time ago.
You did?
Now I'm a high school basketball official. That's where my contribution to the game comes.
Gotcha, that's cool. If you could go back, Brian, and start this business again, would you do anything differently? And if so, what would that be?
A lot of people say it's crazy, but I would get a bigger building.
Wow.
Yeah, like these are already at the bigger end.
You started too small is what you're saying, huh?
I mean, at 4,000 square feet, we thought it was enough.
Huge.
But, you know, we could use a little more room for storage, but I would love to have more room in the back there for when the drop-off and full-service business really starts going, that we're not stacking it on top of everything.
So the advice that you want to give to our viewers most likely is don't think too small, right? I mean, think bigger.
Yeah, I mean, understand what your aspirations are, and you think through, like, what the operations are to support your aspirations. I never opened a laundromat before, so I was relying on advice. And you know, since COVID, the whole industry, laundromats are doing a lot more full service business. So you know, that's just the dynamic that's changed. So my next store will definitely have more room for processing pickup and delivery orders.
All right, good lesson learned. Why do you think some, I wouldn't say most, but a lot of laundromats fail? What one or two reasons you think that happens?
Well, it's crazy. 95% of the laundromats are successful.
95?
Right? 95.
That's a good statistic.
Yeah, I would say probably two reasons. One is if you start new, you may have chosen a bad location and over-invested in. And the other one is you just don't take care of your store and let it just decline, and someone else comes in and either buys your store and takes it over, you know, for a song, or they open up something nearby and the customers go the other direction.
Got it. So here's another thought of mine. If you have 3 locations, 4 locations, that expansion can cause your customer service experience to start to fluctuate.
Yep.
What do you have planned to make sure it's consistent?
It's funny. It's what we do now, right? We've actually documented things religiously since day one, and when we make changes, right? And that's just to orchestrate the work of 6 people on the same level. But really, honestly, orchestrating that work at the expectations you want, whether it's 6 people or 30 or 1 store or 3 stores, it's all the same, because it's one experience that you want to deliver to your customers. Then the other part is trying to find great people that are going to be patient with you, right, while you grow, but also have aspirations to do more. Where I can have the person managing the store right now managing 3 stores and when my attendants get promoted to be a store manager. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to provide an opportunity for them to grow as well.
That's awesome. You guys, if you're enjoying it, we would greatly appreciate it. Take a second, hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you so much. Once you acquire a customer, are they ultimately a repeat at that point? Or is it a one-time visit and then they're gone? Like, what are the numbers on that?
So right now, our mix, because what I can do is with our card system, I can see if a card has been used before or not. Right. And so in a typical month, like 65 to 70% of the cards have been seen before. So I call those my repeat customers. You know, the other 25%, you can argue that, you know, some people, they don't want to keep their card, they don't register, or they just get a new one every time. But, you know, and there's people that only come in like once, they do their big stuff, and we might not see them again for another year. But yeah, I try to maintain about 70% return customers in a given month.
Not a bad number. Well, in conclusion, Brian, it's been awesome. I learned a lot, even though it's my 3rd Laundromat interview.
They're all different, right?
Yeah, they're all different, and it's pretty cool to learn all the differences. But for our viewers, in conclusion, what would your advice be, just in general, if they're looking to get into the laundromat industry? What's at the top of your mind as far as advice, suggestions?
Yeah, I'd say the number one thing, if you're looking to get in, there's probably 2 laundromat groups on Facebook that I would go join. One is the Laundromat Millionaires group. The other is the Laundromat Owners group, and there's a website called Laundromat Resource. Right? If you go to those 3 places, they have all the resources you need to learn stuff. You'll see owners of all different types of stores discussing their operations, and then they have podcasts where they interview the owners. Like, I spent, you know, one of the things I spent all the time waiting for the store to open was listening to other owners talk about their stores and figuring out what could I leverage from them to make my store great.
Amazing what you can learn from a podcast. Just alone.
The amount of information that has grown out there in 2 years that these communities are sharing with people, it's just amazing. Like, if you don't take advantage of it, it's your own wrongdoing, because you can learn a ton from people, and they will tell you what mistakes not to make.
Cool. All right, Brian, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, that's a wrap with Brian, the owner of Laundry Genius. I hope you guys really learned a lot, enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you check out other videos we've done with laundromat owners so that you can be successful as well. Take a second to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so that you don't miss any videos. Thank you, guys.